everybody. This is Nate coming to you from Joplin, Missouri. Palen Music for another Chords and Coffee with Friends. So today, let me introduce these folks to you. This is Matt Bennett right here. Matt plays a little bit of everything. He has resigned to play bass as I continue to offend all bass-playing population on the planet. Just kidding. Just kidding. I love you. Bass is harder than guitar. There, I said it. All right. See, I told you I'd say something stupid. All right. So anyway, Matt Bennett. Matt, how long have you been playing music?
About 30 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
How old are you?
41.
41?
Yeah.
My God, that's a good age. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
You can get a lot done.
Loving it.
Finally. All right. Over here, we got Ty Burns. Brand new dad, right?
About 9 months.
9 months.
Pretty green. Pretty green.
That's all right. Ty Burns, is drums your first love?
Drums is my first love.
But you also... You play guitar and everything else too, right?
Yeah.
But you said, how long you been playing drums?
20 years.
20
Started
years.
when I was 7.
Nice.
Well, Dad's a drummer, so just always had a kit.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Stuff you learn. And then, the world famous, world renowned, Mr. Dan McCain.
Look at his face.
Look at the
Man,
renown written all over there. Dan, so we literally walked in the door just moments before the camera came out, and we gathered all these instruments here, and I said, would you guys like to do a Chords and Coffee? And the resounding sentiment was, okay, fine. And and so we're going to do a Chords and Coffee about playing music in a spontaneous jam setting. And Dan, I started to say, you just moved back up here from Mississippi, and when you were down there, you did a jam at, where was it at?
I was at a barbecue joint down there called Murky Waters.
Murky Waters. Yeah.
Every Sunday afternoon.
Every Sunday afternoon. And I knew that about you. And so I thought it'd be cool to put you on the spot and see if you'd sing a little bit.
Okay.
A ragged breath is appropriate.
All right.
And
It's
also,
a little early.
Yeah. And so here's what we're going to do is that we're about to talk about what song we're going to play. We need to figure that out. And then we also need to talk it through really quick. And hopefully we're going to give you some tools that you can use, because there's nothing worse than going to a jam and you end up spending like 30 minutes to an hour just trying to figure out what song you're going to play. And inevitably what will happen, you end up starting a song and getting like a minute into it and stop because we all disagree on what comes next. So we're going to help you avoid that pain and suffering, right? Mm-hmm. And you should always have a tune in your back pocket. You know what I mean? And I bet you got one. I'll tell you a quick story, okay? And you guys should act like you're interested. Okay, so exactly. I was playing a show with a dear friend of mine, Chris Hatfield. Where are you, brother? If you're out there somewhere watching this, I love you. Great guitar player, great singer, and his dad is a pedal steel player, okay? His dad come up to me after the show and said, hey, would you come in and do this fill-in gig at Hazel Kinder's Lighthouse Theater? And he said, it's easy. You got this. Whenever somebody presents an opportunity with, it's easy, you got this, quickly before you can think about it, it's not easy, and you might not have it. Anyway, love you, Dan. And not this Dan, a different Dan, but still it was Dan. Anyway, so we get there at the thing, and we're playing, and I'm holding on for dear life, because it's like classic country stuff, and it's like changes, like, you know, it's Western swing more or less, and then some modern country that I just didn't even know, right? So I'm holding on for dear life, and then during sound check, and then Hazel walks up to me and goes, so what 2 songs are you going to sing? And I said, I'm holding on for dear life. I don't need to do it. She goes, no, that's fine. What 2 songs are you going to sing? I was like, well, I guess Pride and Joy and Keep Your Hands to Yourself. And so you should always have a couple tunes in your back pocket. So Dan, what's a back pocket tune for you? No pressure. Everybody's looking.
Ain't No Sunshine.
Bill Withers.
Yeah.
That'll work. All right, so walk us through the chords of that real quick, just so we know what's going on.
So yeah, it's pretty simple for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Just a A minor.
So an A minor,
E, and a G.
Yeah. So what you got is here real quick for
And
those
an
of you.
occasional.
Yeah. So let me make sure we're all on the same page here, and feel free to jump in if I'm doing this wrong. So you got an A minor, and then this E minor, G major, and A minor. Just good old cowboy chords. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yep.
Right? Now, I'm going to be watching what you're playing, and I'm going to try to get out of your way and try to give you something to work with, and we'll talk about it after the fact, right? And then what's the B section of the tune? Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
She's always gone.
Yeah, So with the E minor and then to D minor.
Just a little walk down there.
Yeah, we got that. Okay.
Anytime she goes, then back to the.
Right. All right, cool. We got that. Now on this tune, there's that middle section.
Yep.
With the 50,000 I knows. Comment below if you know exactly how many I knows Bill Withers says. If you don't, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So what do we? So how do we just stay on A, or what do you want to do with that?
Yeah, typically, I mean, in the original song, they just kind of cut out and it's just vocals. But I like to put a little funk in there.
Okay.
A little groove.
Little mustard.
Something behind it.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, I typically just stay on that A minor when I do stuff like that.
So do we just stay on that the whole time, or do we ever go to the E minor on the what is it? Does that happen
I
at
hit
all?
the E minor right after I sing Leave the Young Thing Alone.
Okay, well, you just give us a big fat cue when we get to that. Okay, so we've already entered into the octagon here. All right, so whenever we get to that spot, we're going to be watching wide-eyed in wonder for that, and we'll see if we hit it.
You know what the fun part about all this is none of this happens in a jam.
Yeah, none of this happens in a jam.
You're just on by the seat of your pants.
Yeah, so this is a jam with training wheels, so to speak.
Yeah.
Fair enough? Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got this worked out. We're going to try to do this. This is Live or Die live in real time. You're watching it. Dan's going to sing. You want us to kind of give you like kind of a little, like something kind of sassy here at the beginning? Not too sassy?
Go for it.
All right. You me count it off, or you want to do it?
You got this.
One, go. By the way, what year is this 175?
It's a 1978.
Thank you for letting me play this. Go ahead, Dan McCain.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. This house just ain't no home anytime she goes away. Wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gone to stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. And I know, 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 I know. Oh, to leave the young thing alone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, anytime she goes away, anytime she goes away.
Yeah, great job. All right, so when we started that, I felt like I needed to just kind of lay on some top chords here. So I had index finger along the 5th fret from the D, the G, the B, and the pinky was on the 7th fret of the high E. It's like an A minor 9. And I felt like as soon as I landed on that, what were you doing? And you kind of had kind of a fuzzier tone too, right?
Yeah, a little bit of
Yeah,
drums
so
in there,
just-
but I was keeping them pretty long for most of it.
Yeah.
We got into a little syncopated thing, I think, during one of Dan's little
Yes,
solos
and
there, but
and that was beautiful. Like whenever you just kind of just like drop into something like that, and we were both listening, or all three of us were listening. Dan wasn't. I'm just kidding. You were. Anyway, but no, it was great, and I love that kind of little groove there. But I was just keeping it like kind of jazzy little chords here, and then maybe like in this E that we've talked about this before. This is index finger across the 2nd fret from the A string all the way to the high E string. But then you're going to build with the ring finger on the 4th fret of the G and the pinky on the 5th fret of the B, kind of like a D chord, right? Right? And it's just like an E5. It's all E's and B's, except for that top note's in F sharp. And I don't even think I hit that. So it was like a... And on that G, I was hitting... It's technically an E minor, but I was thinking of it as a G6, where I have my ring finger on the 5th fret of the D, middle finger on the 4th fret of the G, and then pinky on the 5th fret of the V. And so, and together we were making that progression. Occasionally, if you were watching, I was trying to hit this F major 9, and if you play a D note, the summation of those things, that's right, I said summation, is sort of yields a D minor 9 kind of thing. And it was nice with what you were singing and playing. So then we got to that little syncopated thing. I was just more or less playing those things. Ty, talk about what you were doing. How are you keeping us all together there?
Yeah, I think in a jam context, the best drummer is just the guy that's just, you know. There it is. Just keep time, play the song. Simplicity is complexity. Is like a little thing I like to live by, just in a band context usually. There's no need to do a bunch of chops in the jam. I just don't think it's not going to get you the gig or anything.
Well,
You know?
you said a mouthful. Here's just something to think about is like whatever I can do to make everyone else sound better, but the truth is just feel more comfortable, right? It's funny, I was watching a thing the other day, I think it was Jordan Peterson. He was talking about raising your kids. You want your kids to be kids that other kids want to play with. Because kids that are kids that other kids want to play with end up having adults that want to teach them, end up getting more opportunities. And so the more you can teach yourself to be the kind of person that thinks of others first, and especially in this kind of context. And what's interesting about that, it's a double-edged sword too, because you don't want to be so meek and held back that you're not encouraging. One of the things I love to do is like, come on, Dan, yeah, and like give little affirmations. That's the Pentecostal part coming out right there, right? And giving those little affirmations along the way, it also kind of cuts the tension. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That
That kind of thing. Dan, you were when you were soloing, were you just A minor pentatonic, or what were you thinking?
Yeah,
on
basically,
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like what Ty said, you know, sometimes, especially with a slower bluesy song like that, you know, first of all, at jam, you're probably not getting paid at all, but I don't get paid by the note, so I definitely, and which is a good thing because I can't play that fast. So yeah, I just kind of. Sometimes those slow, long notes will speak a lot more than just running through fast licks and trying to throw everything out that you have, you know.
For sure, and I think the name of the game on any kind of jam too is being in the moment, and also it's a long game, right? Now, I feel like every time that you and I have ever been in any kind of context where we're noodling, I always feel you are arranging in real time, constantly. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like I always feel like you're conscious of the form of the tune. How did you push us into that little eighth note thing on was that the second verse or something like that?
It was over. I think Dan solo. You started doing something.
I started
so
doing
it was
that?
a reaction to what was happening through what you were playing. I think.
Well, see, there you go. So I started doing that, and then I felt like you were right there with me. So I was like, this pillow is comfortable.
Yeah. And we had been everything had been longer and extended, and it was something that kind of broke up that without being too in the way, without saying, hey, look at us. It was still something that was propelling it forward.
No, that's awesome. Well, guys, that sounds really great. You know, if you were ever, I'm going to tell you right now, if I lived in Joplin, y'all couldn't get rid of me. I would be hanging out here all the time. This is the coolest shop. Obviously, I am biased, clearly. However, facts are facts, folks. Let's look at the science. Look at this place. We got cool stuff. I mean, awesome
Hey, can I
amps.
put you on the spot?
Put me on the spot. That's
Can
Alec.
you do a 60-second come on down to the shop, show them everything here in the shop, acoustic room, guitars.
Yep.
Give them like a infomercial, come on down.
Yeah, and if I'm going to do that, I need you guys to, I need something that makes this guitar feel at home. Something in the realm of like some background music, like in the realm of the Nuge. Could you give me something like that? Maybe like a little stranglehold kind of thing. You know what I mean? Something.
Let's start at the front of the store.
All right, something like that. We'll just put this fella right here. All right, here we go. Start at the front store. You are putting me on the spot here. I'm sorry to put you on the spot. If you don't know stranglehold, just kind of fake it. It's an A minor.
There's no one part of it.
All right, that's all we need right there. Folks, what are you doing with your life? Well, I'm going to tell you what you're about to do. You're going to get off the couch. You're going to say, hey, my life's got to have purpose. My life's got to have a soundtrack. I got to get the music for my life. I'm going to go down to Palen Music in Joplin, Missouri. Let me show you what we got going on. How about pedals? Is that enough pedals? If not, Lord have mercy. You're doing too much pedaling. Get on down here and look at these pedals. Ukuleles, we got them. Resonators, banjos, here. Look at this acoustic room with a humidifier going. That's the essence of tone. Look at this acoustic, look at electric guitar wall. LSL, PRS, Duesenberg, Ibanez, Gibson! Fender, all kinds of amps. Mesa Boogie, Two-Rock, Matchless, Carr, Friedman, Dr. Z, Bad Cat. We got it all. There's keyboards. Get up, baby! Keyboards back over here in the corner. Listen, if you play music and if you don't, you need to come on down to Palen Music in Joplin, Missouri. You guys are the most encouraging guitar community on the planet. If you know somebody in Joplin, tell them to get down here and hang out, because these are some of the coolest cats around. I love these guys, and you will too. Thanks for watching this morning. We'll see you next week.